Morning, Claire.
Good evening to those of you who are in the evening, and good morning to those of you for whom it's morning, which includes Claire. Hello, Claire. Great to have you. How are you doing there? It's Thursday evening here.
Evening, Paul.
Hello to Paul Morwood.
Good to see you.
Claire says, I love your top. Thank you so much. It's new. It's a new one for me. I got it from an online website that specialises in rainbow clothing, specifically to show solidarity with the LGBTQI plus community. And of course, I like to show solidarity with that community and all of my friends who belong to that community. But I also just have an enduring and abiding love of rainbows. I've been wearing rainbow stuff for a very long time.
For a very long time. Stockings and trousers.
Trousers and jacket. I got this wonderful little bomber jacket in London in 2001. No, I think it was a bit later than that. Maybe 2003 or 4. I think it was around the time that we did the Fairport Convention winter tour, and we were in London for a few of the gigs. We went to this amazing little precinct in London.
Yeah, I think it was actually down in Pimlico. No.
I don't know.
No.
It was in the West End near where my sister lived.
Oh God, what's the name of the place? The market.
Yeah. Can someone remind us what market?
In Kensington. It's just completely gone out of my head.
It doesn't matter. It'll come back to you at 1 p.m. 1 a.m. When you're not thinking.
Hey, Alana, how are you?
Hi, Lana. And Martin Jones is here. Hi, Martin. Good morning to you in the UK. And Martin says, hello, why Thursday instead of Friday?
Well, we have
we're busy.
Yeah, we have a funeral type thing to go to
a
tomorrow.
memorial of a dear friend. And it's going to be a bit of a sad day. Well, it will be a sad day for us. And we're also going to be on the north side of the city.
Getting back on a Friday afternoon is an absolute nightmare. So
Camden Market.
No,
Claire is saying.
Portobello Road.
Portobello Road. What is that market?
Portobello Road. It's just.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I don't think that's where we were when I shopped for this jacket.
It. I actually picture it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to Portobello Market. But I remember going to an amazing shop that had all this incredible, weird, far out clothing. I loved it. And there was a rainbow bomber jacket, and I still have it. So it's over 20 years old. And I wore it around a couple of days ago, actually.
Yeah.
I retired it for a little while because it was getting
looking
tight.
a little tight.
It's bright yellow and has rainbow trimming. It's just fantastic. Lana says, I'm good. How are you guys? We are fine, thank you. We've just been rehearsing with Joshua all afternoon to get him up to speed on a few songs so he can play a few more with us this week. So he has some that he'll be doing, I think, for the very first time, certainly with the current bass part that we've written, because we've just been working on a bass part for a song with him. So yes, we've been busy on that, and we're going to invite him to come and play with us very soon. But first we thought we'd revisit one of Jay's old songs from his first solo album, which was recorded back in 1989. Do you want to tell everybody about it?
Yeah, I was living in a little place called Galway, which is right out in the wilds of Herefordshire. And just living out there and roaming the countryside, and it's just such a magical place. There's lots of stone cottages, and just down the bottom of a very windy single-track road was Skenfrith Castle, and I would go down there from time to time just to go and feel the magic of it. And all you could see that the castle itself has been pretty much pulled to pieces. There's still a fair bit of it there, but you can look at all the houses around there and see where the stone from the castle went.
They nicked it from the castle to
the
build
castle
their houses.
Built this whole little village of Skenfrith, but it's very, very, very pretty thatched roofs and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes some Welsh slate as well, because Skenfrith is right on the border between England and Wales at Skenfrith. And there's an interesting thing during the Prohibition days, when you couldn't get grog in Wales. They used to have busloads of Welshmen come down to Skenfrith to the Bell pub down there, which was just over the border into England, and they would come down there
different rules.
Different rules, because in England you could buy beer on a Sunday, so they would come down there and spend their complete Sunday getting plastered and then corrode themselves back to the valleys.
And then they have a bus or something that would bring them
they had
across.
what they called a charabanc.
Charabanc, I love that word.
And they would all come down, and they probably had several of them, because it would have been more than 30 Welshmen, I can tell you. But anyway, so I was living out there in this magical little place, and one day I just sat down and started playing, and this song came up from basically just living out there amongst nature. It's called Mountains and Mist.
Hello to Helen, hello Ganta, and hello to Robin and Andrew.
We would walk and talk, as lovers do. Promise each other the earth and the skies above. And we would play all the silly games that some people play in the guise of love. In the guise of love. And we'd accuse the heavens openly for the passion of a kiss, for the power to express but not explain. And we'd walk and talk and walk and lie to each other again. Oh, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, and you cannot see the forest for the trees. No, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, but you can see into the very heart of me. Yes, you can see into the very heart of me. We weren't fooling anyone, least of all the stars. They looked down and smiled at the cunning of youth, and the silly games that some people play with each other in the place of truth, in the place of truth. And they took revenge on a callow boy for the sin of false desire, for the wanting of a song without the cause. I took one look in the mirror of her eyes, and I was lost. Oh, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, and you cannot see the forest for the trees. No, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, but you can see into the very heart of me. Yes, you can see into the very heart of me. High and she took me low, she took me away, she left me places I would never have guessed. She stole my soul and gave it back in the length of a sigh, And the stars looked down and pitied me for the fool that I'd become. For the wordless boy drowning in a lake of tears. Then the moon smiled and gave this girl to me for 1,000 years. Oh, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, and you cannot see the forest for the trees. No, you cannot see the mountains for the mist, my love, but you can see into the very heart of me. Yes, you can see into the very heart of me. We would walk and talk as lovers do, promise each other the earth and the skies above. Mountains of Mist.
We haven't done that for so very long.
Very, very long time.
I was like getting so into it. I was leaning in towards you, and there's a clipboard here. And I caught the clipboard with my bowing, and I was like, what? No.
That's not very romantic.
It wasn't very romantic, but I was getting so into the romance of that. It's
you could,
just beautiful.
I think there's some photos in my 4-album box set, which I took from around that time, and the house that I was renovating, the little stone cottage I was renovating, was on the side of what they called the Golden Valley, and
Golden Valley.
And at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, you could, if you woke up, which sometimes you did, because the crows would be up there with snails, and they would be bashing snails on the ridge tiles of the roof to break them open, and you sort of hear this tapping sound, and you sort of, oh golly, what's that? But if you looked out the window, sometimes the clouds were beneath in the valley, and it was just such a magical sight. Really loved that place. It was just yeah. So I really it was interesting too, because when I bought the cottage, and I was trying to renovate it and wondering what I was going to do with the inside, and I remember going to one of the farm shows that they had out there in the countryside, because obviously farmlands all around, and they had they would have shows, and lots of different people would put their goods on show at these places, and one of them I went to had a real estate agent there, and they were selling, advertising all of these houses, and I was looking at these houses and looking at them and seeing the insides of them, and I thought, wow, these have got exposed oak beams, and they've got stonework inside and all the rest of it, and I thought, well, my cottage is stone on the outside, so I suppose it must be stone on the inside as well. So I went immediately home from there, and I ripped all of the wallpaper that somebody had stuck on hardboard, which they had nailed to battens, and the battens were nailed in turn to the stone underneath. And when I ripped it away, there was all this glorious grey and blue and pink stonework underneath it, and I think I took about 60 bags of plaster out of that particular house.
And stripped it all back to the original stone.
Stripped it back to the stone, and then all of the upstairs beams were all completely rotten, and the actual roof had tree branches to hold it up. So
instead of beams, they'd use tree branches, like little.
Instead of purlins and rafters, they'd use
branches.
Literally tree branches.
Not made into. And
over the 250 odd years that it had been there, they had gradually got wet and dry, and they were literally. I had to strip back the whole place to first principles, to basics. But when I finished it, there I had my own exposed oak beams and beautiful stonework inside, and I never got
to go inside that house. We went to visit it when we came back to the UK, and Jay showed it to me from the outside, but we could only peer in through the windows.
One of my great sort of building projects that was. I think I sold it for about 5 times what I paid for it, and it was a labour of love, but by golly, it was a very romantic and sweet place.
And you wrote 4 solo albums there.
I wrote 4 solo
and
albums.
you recorded them
place.
just up the road where there was a recording studio. Like, he's out in the middle of nowhere in this place, and there was a recording studio up the road.
Literally, I think
So,
a mile and a half or something like that.
Professional studio run by Dave
Wood.
Sadly,
who
passed
did the original
away.
Did the original violin solos on that song.
Yes,
and
he did.
was just one of the most sensitive fiddlers that I've ever known, ever had the pleasure to play with. And sadly, he passed away a few years ago.
Just a few years ago, not too long ago,
No.
and his son got in contact with us actually. But we digress.
We digress.
But
Lots of stories.
if you want to find that song online, it is on Spotify under Jay Turner's solo account. So you look up Jay Turner, and the name of that album is
Passion Roulette.
Roulette. Passion Roulette. So if you want to find Mountains and Mist, the original version with Dave Wood playing violin and recorded there in that Galway Valley.
He was at Broad Oak Studios, it was called, because the actual area was called Broad Oak because it had this, there was a pub there called the Broad Oak, and it was called that because it had this absolutely humongous tree in front of it, and it was just very, very picturesque. But the pub shut down, and they ended up having it as a private residence. And Dave's studio was right next to that, right next to the pub. And I think it must have been an old stables block originally, or something like that. Again, another very romantic setting. Oh my goodness, Josh, you've knitted yourself into the corner there, mate.
Maybe I was.
Welcome, Joshua!
Welcome, Josh.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
I can't see you yet.
You better sit down. Voice is off otherwise.
Have we said hello to everyone who's
No, we
here?
haven't. There's lots more folks have joined us. Thanks for coming together on a Thursday instead of a Friday. Sorry, it's
Yes,
a change,
thank you
but,
for coming with us on
anything else for
Thursday. We've got a few more people here than we had at the beginning. Leanne is here. Hello, Leanne. Leanne Dobson. I think that's the first
hello
person
to
that I missed. Claire said there's a village near Darlington, Croft, and when North Yorkshire and County Durham had different licensing laws, at 10 p.m, there would be an exodus across the bridge so they could continue drinking legally for another hour.
full of beer, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Cross county, what do you call it when you cross a border?
Well, they literally cross country.
Cross
because they
country
came from
and
Wales
cross
into
county.
England.
Yeah, but this is like County Durham and North Yorkshire.
Yeah, into county.
So yeah, in that case, in your case, it was countries. So what else? Oh, no passport required because it's all part of the UK. Jan Breeze, good morning, Jan,
Morning,
in the
Jan.
UK. Jan Breeze says, what a great song. Thank you. And there were lots of love hearts coming up the screen. Thank you for your love hearts. We love seeing the love hearts floating up the screen. Then we have Kay Morris. Hello, Kay. Is Chris with you? Your lovely son. Say hello from us. Ha ha ha, crows bashing snails, says Robin. And Robin says, love that song, Cath and Jay and Cath's violin. Thank you. I was inspired by Dave Wood on the violin. And Nicole Ashman is here. Hello to Nicole and
Nicole.
Peter and to Freddie and to Harvey. Hope
Actually,
you're all very well.
That was the first song that I wrote after I'd finished Billy Bucket,
Wow.
doing all of those, that whole musical.
Yep,
And when
you went to get back to your roots.
wanted to go back to my roots to just me and a guitar.
Yeah.
And that was literally the first song that I wrote. Sat down with an acoustic guitar, had an old Ibanez guitar that I'd picked up in Salzburg on my travels.
Salzburg,
Yeah.
wow.
Wreck of a guitar that
Paul
I picked up.
says, I love the badge. Thank you. I'm wearing my yes badge. We live yes. No matter what that referendum said, we live for yes. Thank you, Robin. Robin's passing on a compliment. Andrew says that you look very hot in orange. Do you mean like really hot, or do you mean hot stuff?
Take the compliment.
I'll take the compliment. Nicole says, I'm doing well, Robin. My vertigo is stopped. Yes, and I'm a finalist in a Jetstar competition, flying down to Melbourne for next Sunday, where I will be competing for $12,500 in flights, or at a minimum, $1,000.
Fantastic.
So you're
Oh, that's
guaranteed to get $1,000 in flights just from going down there for this competition, Nicole? It sounds exciting. Tell us more.
Really exciting.
Do tell us more.
But
And
it is Jetstar, so we won't get too excited.
Robin says, hot. Temperature hot or good looking hot?
Okay.
Let's move on with some songs now. Let's push through. All right, this one from a very old one of Jay's to a fairly new one that we're hoping to release as a single
In September.
in September.
Livin On Country.
A two, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country. No matter where we stand in this great big land, we're all living on country.
We could be laying on a tropical beach.
We could be driving down the highway the long reach, or sleeping on a riverbank at low tide. Don't matter if we're traveling the outback, don't matter if we're visiting the city. One thing it's true to say, we're all living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country. No matter where we stand in this great big land, we're all living on country. We could be digging in the bottom of an old mine. We could be stuck in the middle of the traffic. No matter if we're dedicated bushes or in a shopping mall heading for the movies. One thing it's true to say, we're all living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country. No matter where we stand in this great big land, we're all living on country. I love this land and all of the people, love the trees and the golden sand, love all the plants and amazing animals, love to remember where it all began. I wanna honor all around me that is sacred. I wanna join a 60,000-year-old song. I wanna be a part of the solution for everything that's ever gone wrong. No matter if I'm climbing up a mountain, no matter if I'm staring out to sea. One thing that's sure and certain, I'll be living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country, living on country. But no matter where we stand in this great big land, we're all living on country. Living on country, as we all are.
Well done. I haven't played that with Josh for a little while. And I got very distracted for some reason during that song.
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. My brain just sort of went blank for a moment. And I was
Okay.
like, where am I? What am I doing? I don't know. I think it's been a really big year, and every week seems to be just a little too big for me. And I don't know how to slow it down. That's the honest truth. I'm not sure how to slow it down for my brain to feel like it can catch up.
Yeah.
I'm not as rested as I'd like to be. And I think that's the modern condition these days, that we're all doing a bit too much.
All right.
What are we doing next?
Well, I thought we might do falling again because
Yes, let's do it.
let's give a shout out for the people who are homeless out there, living on our streets, being moved on by the police all the time because they're not supposed to have tents anywhere in the CBD.
Last week we
anywhere.
were just outraged by the Brisbane City Council taking everybody's tents
Yeah.
in Musgrave Park. I believe they were clearing it out.
For the Greek festival.
The Panegyri festival. Now, there's no reflection on the Greek festival itself or the Greek community, but the council were probably clearing out the tents because that festival is happening this weekend.
And it's happening around Musgrave Park.
But that is no reason to create more stress and terror in the lives of people who are already really vulnerable.
That's right.
So
6
we're
o'clock in the
singing
morning
this
they
for them.
turned up, mob-handed, the police, and they pulled down all the tents, and they did, however, offer the people one safe location to be able to leave all their stuff if they were actually there to collect it together. But no housing, no homes, no shelters, none of that sort of stuff. Adrian Schrinner, you are a shameful, shameful mayor. And I'm going to have words with you one of these days. I wouldn't shake your hand, but I would have words with you.
Oh, Harvey says, Nicole and Harvey love Living on Country. Oh, thank you. I can't wait for us to release it as a single. Paul says, it's all sounding great. Living on Country, lovely Cath, Jay and Josh. And of course, we sing Living on Country as an acknowledgement of country. That's what it is. It's saying we are living here on the lands of the First Nation people, and sovereignty was never ceded.
All right, fall in.
These are their lands. All right. Ooh.
We ready?
Are you in tune, my friend?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, there was just a bit of sharp soundingness.
Ah, sounds good.
A
All right.
1, a 2, a 1, 2, a 3, a 4.
I like living in the city. I don't like living in a tent. But the government's fighting inflation. Apparently that's where my job went. And now they push the interest rate so high, I can neither buy nor rent. And minute by minute, hour by hour, I'm falling farther behind. Living in the shadow of the go-between bridge without a ticket to ride. Ticket to ride. Big boss of Woolies gets $8.4 million a year, maybe a little more. These new low prices mean I can no longer afford to shop at his store. And minute by minute, hour by hour, I'm falling farther behind. Living in the shadow of the go-between bridge without a ticket to ride. Ticket to ride. And I'm falling, 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 falling farther behind. You call me a bludgeon, but I'm filled with confusion. Is unemployment but your big solution? If I get another job, put that fuel on the fire. Another excuse to push those prices higher. No, no, modern economic theory says that there's a less blunt set of tools. When to make us homeless, hungry and poor, if only they'd alter the rules. Increase child welfare, yeah, tax a millionaire or two. There's far fairer ways that we can avoid sinking this ship of fools. And minute by minute, hour by hour, we can make up for lost time. Get everybody on the go-between bridge. Give us all a ticket to ride. Ticket to ride. And I'm falling, 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 falling farther behind.
Falling.
Good job, Josh.
Rockin' Josh.
That's a rockin' song.
It is a rockin' song.
Very serious subject matter, but yeah.
All right, this next one we're actually going to be releasing in a week's time as a single. Next Friday, the 23rd? Yeah, 23rd?
Yes, I think that's the date.
23rd. So we thought we might play it this week, and we'll play it next week as well to announce that. So it's coming out as a single on Blue Shamrock Music, going to be distributed to radio stations all across the world. And yeah, hoping that it's going to get some good airplay and start putting us on the map again a little bit, because of course, having spent 18 years away from the scene really in any meaningful capacity, it means that people have forgotten about us. So we actually have to reinsert ourselves into the public consciousness by releasing singles and hopefully finding people who would like them and share the links to all their friends and relatives.
That includes you guys. So if you like our music, then please share it with your family and friends. There's multiple ways that you can do that. You can go to Blue Shamrock Music to get our latest EP and the singles that are being released there. And you can also go to Spotify or Apple Music and share them from there too. And hello to Mick Bruce, says hi, Cath and Jay. Hello, Mick. It's been ages since we've seen you.
A very long time.
Very long time. Hope you're very well. Paul Moore was saying, not in Launton. They bulldozed everything, including the tents and their possessions. Shame, shame, shameful and disgusting and criminal. We agree with you.
Agree with you entirely,
absolutely, Paul. And hello to Leanne Dobson. Hello, lovely Leanne. Claire says, what is the world coming to? Such appalling events. I know, some days it just feels like a bit much. Nicole says, 100% my thoughts to Claire on Well Done Josh. Well done, Josh. Yes. He's doing really well for a beginner musician and doing really well in general. Freddie is out of the shower and says, that's a new guy. He's overjoyed you have a son. Have you not, Freddie, have you not seen our son before?
I thought you saw Josh before.
Yes, this is a new guy. But he
Well,
has...
kind of new.
He's been with us for 18 plus years. But he's new to the live stream. Well, no, you've been doing the live streams for weeks now.
A few weeks.
But maybe you've been
maybe you haven't
in bed. Maybe you've been asleep. And Claire says, I do share regularly. Thank you, Claire. That's really appreciated. You guys are our core people.
That's right.
The ones who show up every week. All right, so this song was
this one.
written, and I would like to dedicate it to Leanne, because I know that she really loves this one.
Oh, yeah.
It was written after Jay went to a retirement village. Josh? Jay went to a retirement village to perform his rock and roll hits of the 50s and 60s, and there was a lady there who was singing along and sort of, grooving at the back. But he also noticed that she was crying, and she came up to him at the end and said, every one of those songs brought back a memory of my husband. He died a few years ago now of Alzheimer's disease, but we had met at a rock and roll dance, and he was actually a dance teacher. He taught people how to jive.
How to jive.
So
their whole married life, they were dancing together until he was taken, sadly, very early on with Alzheimer's. So I wrote this song for her because it just, I think people who dance together stay together. People who sing together stay together. People who...
Not always, but
in
their case it worked, and for us it's working too.
It's worked so far.
So yeah, here it is. Dance Hall Days, and this is the first time I think we've performed it with Josh. Oh,
Second.
Hang on, let me just check that.
Jay's going to check his tune.
I believe it's the second time.
I don't remember the first time.
Maybe we prepared for it but never did it.
Yeah,
that
that's what
would
I
be
think.
it.
I think this is your debut performance on Dance Hall Days.
Well, a few of them are out. That's amazing. Probably giving it a good thrashing during falling, I suppose. Oh yeah. This guitar's normally pretty reliable, really. Ooh. Okay. That sounds a bit more like it, doesn't it?
Dom is here. Hi, Dom.
Okay.
All
Dance
right.
Hall Days.
A two, a shoot, doop, be doodly doo.
rock and roll. It always lifts the soul. It's like those dance hall days where her memory is turning. Dance hall days. Dance hall days. Every time the music plays, she sheds a tear and says she's remembering those dance hall days. Dance hall days when her memory is turning. Dance hall days. In the circle of his arms, dance hall days. Yearning. Every time the music plays, she sheds a tear and says she's remembering those dance halls. Sing the last dance for me. Sing the last dance for me. Dance hall days.
Well done, Joshua, your first time playing that
Yeah,
as a
well done.
performance.
And with that finger style as well.
New finger style.
Yeah, my
And
goodness.
yeah, we hadn't really finished writing Joshua's bass guitar part until this afternoon, so he's done awfully well.
Yeah, he's done awesome.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
darling.
well done, mate. Fantastic.
Oh, what's next?
We were thinking of doing solid rock because actually we were releasing that to
Oh, yes, this weekend,
weekend.
Sing on the Ballon.
Sing on the Ballon.
Sing on the Ballon, Solid Rock. It's this weekend. But I just want to read out what
Yes.
Tracy's saying. Hello to Tracy. And I guess your mum, Jeanette, is there too. So hello to you both. And Tracy's saying, Mum met Dad at the Heidelberg Town Hall dance and she loves this song. Well, for you and your mum as well, that dedication goes out. My mum and dad also met at the Heidelberg Town Hall dance. So I owe my existence to that dance in part as well. And Robin says that she loves that song too. And Kelly Daniels is here. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Kelly.
And Kelly says that you guys are the cutest. Oh, thanks. Ooh, and yes, Dom is here. So we got to say hi to Dom. And Dom said, oh, did that lady ever get to hear this track and know that she inspired it?
No, I never saw her again. Sometimes that's what happens in those places is that people either don't enjoy being where they are and they move on, or sometimes they actually pass away.
So we'll never know, really.
No.
Because
we'll
you didn't
never
find
know.
out her name or anything.
Her name was Olivia.
Oh, you did find out
I
her
did find
name.
out her name, but I didn't get a second name.
Yeah.
So, but then
Things
I
changed.
played at this particular place on a monthly basis for about 3 or 4 years, and then they had a staff turnover. They amalgamated with another company, and I think they wanted to cut costs, and so they decided that they weren't going to have me there anymore. So they just basically
They dumped him.
I turned up one day and said I'm here to play a concert, and they said, oh, there's nobody here, they've all gone out. And that was how I found out that I was no longer playing there. So boo, yah, sucks to them. I won't
So
ever
I
go
don't
back,
think
and
Olivia
then
will
they
ever
ripped
find
off
out.
me twice the money that I was getting, which was not enough anyway.
So Nicole says that Freddie has never seen Josh.
Ah, there you go. Well,
That's why you're called the new guy. Hey, Freddie. You're just the new guy. And Robin says, Andrew and I danced together and we're still together 40 plus years later. I know. And you guys were ballet dancers, which is just next level, isn't it? I mean, there's jiving and then there's ballet.
Totally next level.
Different worlds of dance.
Jiving is just really improvisation, shaking your body about, but ballet is an entirely different level of discipline, and it's an extraordinarily tough business to be in too, as both I'm sure Robin and Andrew would attest.
Can I read out some more comments?
You can.
Claire was giving lots of applause, and Robin says, Josh, you're rocking it. Leanne has sent love hearts. Josh says, thank you. Brian, my cousin Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Brian Hocking down in Melbourne.
In Melbourne.
Somewhere. Are you in actual Melbourne or Whittlesea? Good to have you, cuz. My first cousin, Brian. You used to tease me terribly when you came up from Melbourne to visit. I remember you pranked me. You did a lot of pranking, Brian. I'll never forget that I think you set my alarm clock to go off at 3 a.m. These guys are laughing, but I was really angry at the time. I think I was about 12 or 13, and I was super pissed.
It's just the right age to be pranked, I reckon, don't you?
Nicole says, yeah, it was the right age. Nicole says, it's my first time hearing the song and beautiful to know the story behind it. Thank you, Nicole. It is on our new EP that we released just after Christmas, and we're going to release it as a single on Friday week. Paul says, I don't think you lost you out. You just rested and now you're back to tell you're here and as good as ever.
Oh, no, thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
We didn't lose out because we gained a whole different life. But at the same time, you know, if you want to get back into any kind of level of the business, then you've got to try to publicise yourself. And the way to do that these days in this digital age is to release singles and have them streamed and downloaded, which we do through Blue Shamrock Music because they actually pay us. Spotify don't, but Blue Shamrock do. So if you're going to do any of that stuff, recommend Blue Shamrock to your friends.
All right, we're going to play solid rock now, and Leanne is saying we love the bass addition to this song. Yay, we do, we love it. It was really fun. It was a bit stressful working it out, but it was really fun to play. Now that we have worked it out, it's going to be fun forever. All right, thank you to Shane Howard for gifting this song to Voices for Reconciliation this year. It's been the big song that choirs all over Australia have been singing.
All over 300 of them.
Over 300 choirs have registered for Voices for Reconciliation. We have our local choirs doing it. We have got Freedom Train, who've also recorded their version, and the big community version that we did a couple of weeks ago, Sing on the Ballon. It is being launched as a YouTube video this Sunday night at 7 p.m. So please make sure that you've subscribed to our YouTube channel so that you'll be notified when the song is launched. Be there to watch it live.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Talking about a chosen place. You want to sell it in the marketplace. Well, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Just a minute now. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. You're standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, right down the line. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Round about the dawn of time, the dream it all began. A proud people came, they were looking for their promised land. Running from the heart of darkness, running from the heart of light. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. It was their paradise. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. They were standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground,
they felt the sting. White man, white law, white gun. Don't tell me it's justified. Somewhere, someone lied. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Yeah, someone lied. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. It was genocide. Now you're standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change are blowing down the line. Solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change are blowing down the line. Solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change are blowing down the line.
Oh yes, well done, Josh.
Thank
You
you.
haven't played that for weeks.
No, I've done well.
And just refreshed it very briefly before this session, and
Yeah.
wow, you got every part right. I got a little thrown off at the beginning because I think I'm not hearing. I can't hear my ukulele, so I'm not.
Oh,
I'm a
You
bit,
have
I'm a bit confused because you
plugins.
guys are both getting a bit of amplification there, and I've got none, and I'm deaf. So I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can hear it. Never mind. I got back on track eventually.
this is quite like loud guitar. You could probably have your ukulele. plugged in
Julie
instead.
B! Hello, Julie B!
Julie.
How are you? Good to have you watching. Paul says, I'm singing with you and annoying the neighbours.
Yeah, if you want to do that in the morning, Paul, you can kick their dustbins over. Although it's not quite as effective as they used to be when they were made of tin.
What are you talking about? Kicking over the dustbins. Did you used to do that?
No, I was a
Delinquent.
good boy.
You're a good boy. So good, solid rock, says Robin. And does Josh know, says Dom, that he has holes in his jeans? Dad joke, I couldn't help myself. Ha ha ha. And Josh nailed it. Kudos, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, someone put them there last night. I need to repair them. But until then, they're just still ripped up,
Just
you know.
big moths in his bedroom. That's
Yeah.
what it
Big
is.
moths. But I just wanted
You
to
have to have an eye
say,
for shape and fashion.
on Wednesday night that Joshua J and I filmed a duo version of Solid Rock for us to submit to Voices for Reconciliation as well. So we didn't do it with the bass, it was just me and Jay.
It's supposed to be choirs, but we decided it would be a choir of two.
It can be any type of singing group that enters into Voices for Reconciliation. Choirs and any type. So we thought we're going to do a duo version as well. So Joshua was our camera person and did all this wonderful filming and lighting, and he even styled our outfits.
Yeah. He said, oh, I don't think that looks very good. You better change. So that's what we did.
And he said, you should wear your hat, Mum. So I got my hat out and
Yeah.
put my yes badge on it. And
So only
I tried to get her to wear a leather jacket, but she wouldn't.
Yeah,
the
it's
leather
creaking.
jacket, I tried to wear the leather jacket, and it was cool for sure, but I could virtually not move.
Apparently,
and it's
Freddie's quite taken by Josh. He liked his guitar and said, "Good job,
Thank you.
good job, Josh."
I also like this one. It's
Yeah.
very beautiful. We call her Bluey
Oh.
because she's blue.
I bought this bass for me, and as soon as Josh saw it, he went, "Ooh, I like that."
I have my own guitars.
Yeah, I know you have your own
I even
guitar,
have
but
my
you,
own bass.
you not get your own.
Well, kind of.
You did have them.
We traded.
He was using my cello bass, and he decided that he wanted this one more.
I like it better.
Yeah, it's a really comfortable bass to play, actually.
And it's got a better sound.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we want a sort of a more sort of muffly sound of bass, then we can use the other one. So it's it's a boss of an instrument, and it was not a very expensive one either. So there you go, 3/4 size, 30-inch scale, not 34 as the usual basses are. 4 inches, that's a lot, isn't it? 4 inches further to reach.
All right, it's time.
All right,
to
time
finish
for us to
this
finish.
live stream. Let's do it. So, we're going to finish with a song that is the title track of our EP, Millard Pop-Top 74, all about the old camper van that we bought when Josh was 5,
Yeah.
and we spent 11 years
Struggling with it.
struggling with the thing. Renovated every single part of it, I think. Yeah.
Yes, every.
We replaced and
Actually,
renovated.
the only thing I didn't replace were the side walls. That was the only thing I didn't replace, like the lower part of it, because we replaced all the canvas and the
And
roof.
you rebuilt the whole front end.
I rebuilt the front end after I drove into a bollard with it, which was a bit silly. And I reinforced the floor because then we wanted to put solar in and put batteries in it and all that sort of stuff, so you had to reinforce the floor. And then I discovered that the floor was made of chipboard, which doesn't really, it shouldn't really last 30 or 40 years with water spraying on it, but it did to a degree.
By the time we sold it, we'd replaced nearly everything, and it was 50 years old by the time we sold it. So once it was sold, then we were able to reflect and laugh about it a bit, and this song is the result. Please sing along. Millard Pop-Top 74.
Thanks for joining
A
us.
1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, a 5.
We were tired of camping in a swag, waking on a bumpy floor. Time for a change, we decided. Let's see what we can afford. I was studying alternatives till I was dizzy in the head. Oh, when an online ad caught my eye, this is what it said. Well, you can wind her up and you can wind her down. She got two good ways to keep you off the ground. A bed at each end of each space in the middle to hold the family and more. It's your lucky day, all a dream away. She's the Millard Pop-Top 74. We bought a cheap sight unseen. That might have been a mistake. She was a bit of a fixer-up, but a little of the all that it would take. And so began a journey through an ever-revolving door. And the money came in, it soon went out on a Pop-Top 74. First the telescopes went down, but only one at a time. Cause the cables kept getting tangled up in a way only the devil could design. So we exercised our credit card till it was bruised and sore. And once again she was working just like back in 74. Cause you could wind her up and you could wind her down. She got two good things to keep you off the ground. A bed at each end of each space in the middle to hold the family and more. It's a lucky day, all a dream away. She's a Millard Pop-Top 74. Then she tried to kill me.
On the driveway.
Pulled my car back down a hill. I fell underneath the wheels. How I'm a living is a miracle still. The insurance company laughed at me, but paid up finally. $800 excess, and she was as right as she would ever be. Then the roof sprang a leak, couldn't tell just where. We filled buckets every time it rained. It was a sad and a sorry affair. So I rebuilt the whole damn thing, along with most of the floor. And the very next time we took her out, the ancient canvas tore. But you can wind her up and you can wind her down. She got two good wheels to keep you off the ground. A bed at each end of each space in the middle to hold the family and more. It's a lucky day, all a dream away. She's a Millard Pop-Top 74. 3,000 more and she was fixed again, but it was really time for her to go. So we sold her for a couple of grand to some people that we didn't know. Now they call us up all the time to tell us that she's doing well. And how it was their lucky day when we decided to sell. Cause you can wind her up and you can wind her down. She got two good wheels to keep you off the ground.
thanks for joining us again tonight. Hopefully back next Friday, and that will be our 18th.
Yeah, tonight's our 17th
in a row.
Stream Cuppa with Cath and Jay and Josh.
Yep.
Tonight we actually got ourselves a glass of wine, but Josh hasn't got one yet.
Because we
He
ran the
hasn't
bottle
got
out.
one yet,
But
but-
anyway, not to worry. Thanks, Josh. Good job.
Yay, thank
All right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you,
See you next
everybody.
time, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Nicole says thank you for the music.
Our pleasure.
Claire says have a fantastic week. See you next week.
See you next week, Claire.
Paul says thanks Cath and Jay and Josh, sounding great tonight and I enjoyed them very much. Take care everyone and enjoy your night. Thanks Paul.
Well done, Paul.
Tracy says thanks Cath, Jay and Josh. Dom says loving you both. Geek out over these guitars. Yeah, guitar geeks. No dustbins around here, says Paul. And yes, Freddie really likes Josh's bass guitar. We all do.
We all do.
And we all like Josh. He's a really fantastic guy.
We've got a preference for him.
We do. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Nice.
See ya.